I think that people take it too far. The way I see it and the way I didn't see it like that when I was growing up. But over the years, I guess I'm more mature. And the way I see it now is we have our little thing that we say about white people. And nobody says anything. And it's not that we mean harm by doing it. We do it in private where we have little jokes and fun, laugh about it. Well, this is me personally, I do not think Hogan meant harm by saying that. And Hogan is my brother until he decides not to be.
I appreciate and love Hulk Hogan, and I'll tell you what, yesterday something came out about racism for Hulk Hogan. False. Hulk Hogan is not a racist. If he's a racist, then everybody's a racist. Okay, Hulk Hogan is one of the most fantastic, best people I've ever met. And if you point a finger, there's three pointing back at you. So be careful who you point at.
Really? Have you talked to Hogan since that happened or no?
I texted him and I gave him my support.
Did he respond or no?
Yes.
So I've heard, China was just here, and I was talking to her about it, and I guess, from what I read online, what she told me happened, and from what I read online they're trying to say it's way worse than it really is. You know what I mean? Do you know, what happened?
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. He didn't know the camera was on. He was caught in the act of being himself. But that was himself 8 years ago. Hulk Hogan is not a racist, period.
Yeah, even though Booker T called him the N-word one time. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. And Booker T made a joke about it. He was saying, that Hogan came up to him afterwards, and he goes, "Hey, it's all good, man. Hey, brother, because I know that you didn't mean it like that. You meant it was the good way, not the bad way." You know what I mean?
Well, that word has kind of lost its flavor because I haven't seen a rap album yet that didn't use that word. See what I mean? It's it's okay if we do it. I don't understand that logic. I don't use that word. And but it's a no-win situation. Anyway, I've said all I can about Hulk Hogan. He's the best.
Hey, Virgil, what do you think about the Hulk Hogan shit that's going around right now anyways? You worked with Hulkster, you know what I'm saying?
What I think about the Hulk Hogan stuff?
Yeah.
Brother, he never did nothing to me and never said nothing to me. To me, he was always a great, cool guy. I don't see no racism at all.
Did you ever see him screw anybody?
And I don't condone it.
Did you ever see him play favorites or have those tendencies?
Favorites? Nah.
Yeah. He was always very partial to Ed
But
Leslie.
he was on top of his game, bro. All business.
Hulk Hogan recently got himself in quite a lot of trouble. Obviously you know Hogan?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he can come back from that?
You know, I know Hulk's getting ready to do a big tour around here pretty soon, I heard. And there hasn't been a point in time, including myself, and I'm sure you, where you sat in a room and you said something stupid that you really wish you wouldn't said. Hogan said that, but what he said it to was a guy that had evil intentions. That guy, Bubba, that was with him. Why film something 8 years ago and then throw it on TV now to try to ruin the guy's career? And I don't care. 99% of the world in the U.S., you know, I was raised, the color didn't make any difference in my household, right? When my dad and mom raised me, and I played inner city basketball leagues, I would be the only white kid on the team. But what everybody has said the N-word or called a white guy a honky or a dirtbag, in life, you don't mean it literally. And I don't think Hogan, I mean, I've known Hogan for a long time, and believe me, I'm not sticking up for Hogan because Hulk can be pretty much into himself sometimes. No disrespect, Terry, but you know, I don't believe he's got that kind of racism in his system. I know he's a changed guy now. If you look, one of his tattoos is a Bible scripture on his arm. Not that that makes any difference, but his whole mentality in life has changed later in life, you know. And I don't think Hogan's the bad guy everybody made him out to be. For Vince McMahon to take him off the Hall of Fame and take him all off the website and stuff, That's the most. I mean, WWE wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan.
Do you think there was more to that timing of that coming off? Do you think there was a pound of flesh, maybe?
I always think that was the big old knife in the back right there. Because why would you take the guy who single-handedly built that company? You know, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan in the Rocky movie, you know, when he was in WWE and he went to WWF at the time, if it wasn't for Hogan, there wouldn't be a WWE today. Hulk Hogan's is single-handedly the top-grossing merchandise guy in the company ever. And so I think that's a big mistake. I think there was something underlying to that whole thing, you know, that nobody knows about.
With Hulk Hogan, we didn't get to meet him as a group. We only saw him at the live shows. I know that I got to see him twice when we went to the restrooms. He was in the restrooms, and we spoke briefly with him. And he spoke to me twice after 2 of the different live shows to give me advice. So I know for a fact that I got to speak to him twice.
How was that? How was that conversation, Patrick, with Hogan after those live shows?
The first interaction was week before last, after the promo battle that I had with Mata. He called me out and told me that I needed more character, and I showed it to him because after we spoke after the show, he told me that I did a good job. That's what he was looking for out of me, and if I keep up that good character, then I definitely have a future in the business. Then it was last week when I spoke to him after my elimination, and he shook my hand, pulled me aside, and told me that he knows that I have a future in this business, and that I have to keep fighting for it. That was his main thing to me. He told me that as long as I kept fighting for it, I'd be here. He said he didn't see quit in me, and he just had no doubt in his mind that Patrick Clark would be a WWE superstar.
It seemed, and I think it was just, I got a lot of tweets about this. It seemed that some people thought that Hogan had it in for you, and I never really that didn't really wasn't an alarm. It sounded for me, but have you heard that or read that, or people ask you about that, especially in light of all this racial stuff with that he's been confronted with the last several days? But have you heard people say that they thought that maybe you had a personality conflict or he had a personality conflict with you?
I didn't get that at all from knowing him briefly. I have heard the rumblings on social media, and I've ignored them because I've learned through my own personal experience on being on the Tough Enough competition show that people don't know anything. They just know what they see, right, and they only know what they hear. You don't know the person. And from the person that I know, he's been really good to me. So that's all I can talk about.
So Hogan and you had no issues.
No.
And I so then, because it's so topical, did you see anything that would indicate to you that he had any of these issues, that he's as being a racist? Because I'll tell you my take on it, and I just want your truthful answer. That's all we're talking about here is the truth. I've known him for a long time. I'm not his best buddy. I don't hate him. We get along. We're professional. Didn't work with him that closely that long. Never worked with him in WCW. Only for a short time in the early 90s, a little bit when the NWO thing was reformed. At one, I think, he worked with The Rock at WrestleMania 18. That was a big night. I won't forget that one. But I never had any inkling or saw any evidence that he had any racial issues whatsoever. That's me. Now, your situation. I've never been a black man, believe it or not. I've never been a black man. So if you could tweet that out. JR said on his podcast, believe it or not, he's never been a black man. So I don't know, Patrick, if you are around somebody and you can sense, because you are a black man, that they may be uncomfortable to some degree, that gives you the indication they may be a little bit of a racist or a lot of racist, whatever. Did you ever feel that way around Hogan?
No, I've never felt that way around him. That's why the news is a bit startling to me, but like I said, it's just the rumblings of the internet. Hulk Hogan, he's been nothing but good to me, and I feel like, and I've encountered racism in my life, so I know how it feels, and I know what to expect from a person, and if he truly is a racist, then he definitely wouldn't have pulled me aside. I didn't go to him, he came to me. and he pulled me aside and he offered help to me. And if you're a racist, you just don't do that. And especially if you're not put in the position. It's not like Mr. McMahon or Triple H went to him and said, oh, go talk to this guy or go talk to that guy. He did that of his own freedom and out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah.
And I've always thanked him for that.
That's a good, it's interesting, very interesting. So we're both on the same page there. Now, I'm not casting aside what happened, all those years ago on a private videotape and the language and things of that nature. That's another issue, and you get into it, and what do you? It's like I tried to state my side of the story, and there are some people that believe that he has not done anything wrong, which I find incredulous. He himself will tell you he did something wrong, but I got to believe that no matter who we are, no matter our skin color or our religious background or anything else, that everybody deserves forgiveness if they seek it and they're sincere about it. I really do. I'm a forgiving guy, and I think the world would be a better place if everybody had a little bit more tolerance to forgive and let people mend their fences and repair themselves.
I talked to Hulk the morning after he did I texted him and said, hey, good job on Good Morning America. And he called me immediately, like, hey, brother, he was really amped up and, nervous too, because wow, they have the edit, so I don't know what's going to happen. And when people ask me about it, I've been around Hulk a lot and never have seen anything but kindness and generosity from the guy. I've never seen any racism thing going on. But I think it was nearly 9 years ago, and his life was in a way different spot then. His son Nick had just been involved in that tragedy. He's going through a brutal divorce, where his ex-wife is running around with some guy that went to school with his kids. I mean, a lot of stuff going on. He's paying a lot of money out of his own pocket to help his daughter Brooke get her hip-hop career going. And the thing that stands out to me, to me, I think what I've heard is just the excerpts. I didn't hear anything. I read some lines from the tape or whatever. And it seems like he's reflecting on it. He's kind of going, well, maybe I am a racist. I mean, doesn't he say that once or twice? Are you familiar with it? Seems to me like he was reflecting on it, going, oh, maybe I am a racist, because I think it dawned on Hulk, and I have a daughter who's young, and she's younger than Brooke, but I think you're going, he's trying to get her into hip-hop. Then it dawned on him, well, hip-hop's controlled by a lot of young, rich black guys, and now I want to bang my hot daughter. And I think he's kind of like, whoa, do I think he'll be back? I hope so. I turned down lots of interview requests about this because I didn't want to talk about it until Hulk talked about it. My position is, you think after nearly a 35-year relationship with the WWE that they'd have taken a different position. I think they would have said, we're going to look into it, and then I think they should have recommended some kind of counseling or sensitivity training or something like that. The thing that gets me the most is people are concerned about, well, Hulk said the N-word. Not the fact that he's banging his buddy's wife during this video. That's okay. You can have sex with somebody else's wife, but for God's sakes, don't say the N-word, is the message, right? No one even says that he was still married, the guy's married, so it's adultery, full-blown adultery, which is one of the 10, but don't say the N-word.
Imagine it was a black girl in bed.
Whoa, you said it, not me.
The quadruple whammy. Along the same lines, Tony Mirabella from the Bronx. Scott, with the recent revelations of Hulk Hogan making racist remarks on a sex tape, I have to ask, in all your years working with Hogan, do you ever see racist tendencies? We kind of got that answer already.
Never.
Hulk Hogan's in some hot water right now. Is Hulk Hogan a racist from what you know?
No, not the Hogan I know. No, he's not a racist at all. He hasn't got time to be one.
He's so busy. Yeah, he's so busy.
But,
I mean, he's fought black guys, white guys, Latino guys, all different guys in the ring with Hulk Hogan over the years.
Yeah, there's no time to be racist. We're pro wrestlers, jeepers. There's no anti-Semitism or.
I mean, when it comes to professional athletes, you guys are getting about as close to your opponents as you can.
Holy cow! You don't get no closer.
This is like the Donald Sterling situation with the former Clippers owner, kind of.
I hear you.
Where it's a privacy of the own home.
Also, one, it's a privacy of his own home. Two, his son was going through a really rough time. You know, he's trying to take care of his daughter. He's trying to keep his family together. Do I condone it? No. But I think Hulk Hogan has done a whole lot more, a whole lot more for the society than he has negative to our society. I think we should all have full disclosure.
You'd like to see the tape?
Yeah, I want to see the tape. I'm just not going to condone one of my Hall of Famers when I haven't seen the whole 9 yards. And I've never heard Hogan go.
Yeah, like in the locker room or anything. You
No.
guys had so many different people
No.
in the locker rooms over the years. You never heard him say anything racist?
No, never.
What would you say to your buddy Hulk?
I say, you know what? I love you, but you know what? I understand why they're all mad. Okay, so let's all get over it. Move on. I understand it. And you know what? If my kids were in that kind of jam, I would have done whatever I had to do.
Recently, one of your former colleagues, Hulk Hogan, has been in the press for an racist rant that gathered a lot of attention. What do you think about that? What do you say about that?
I was very upset and very depressed, and I'll tell you why. I aspire to be half the humanitarian Hulk Hogan is. He's a very good man, a very great man, and when you're number one, just like Fox, everybody goes after you. And now WWE has thrown him to the curb. But you know what's happening? Tremendous backlash by the fans. They want him back. You know,
Right.
The thing is, Hulk Hogan is not a racist and he's not a homophobe. As a matter of fact, far from it. What you're talking about is 8 years ago. And 8 years ago, he was in suicidal depression. He was trying to keep his marriage alive. He was trying to keep his son out of prison. You know, he had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So he's just a human being. Give him a break. I mean, hasn't he done enough?
It's an unfortunate series of events for him, but is this symptomatic of a problem that's going on within the WWE? Could you say that racism is a problem in the pro wrestling world?
No, it's hypocrisy that's the problem.
So you're saying that the issue that we're having right now with Hulk Hogan, what's going on with the WWE, it comes down to hypocrisy, and that if you're going to have it one way, you need to have it always. Politically correctness needs to be across the board.
There's only one perfect man, and it's not me. But I'm saying that Hulk Hogan is a very good man, and I refuse to pull my friendship out. And I believe the WWE, no, they're in a no-win situation.
Yeah.
They're good people. They just want to keep their brand untarnished.
Yeah.
But you know what? We've had enough punishment. Take a month off, bring them back.
I was pretty disappointed with what I heard, like all of us. I've known Terry for a lot of years, and my dad helped train him in Florida in the 70s when he was breaking in the business, and my uncles helped train him too as well in Florida. So I had not known the man to be racist. It's funny. It's one of those things where, not justifying what he said, we've all talked trash, you know, especially in private. He said what he said, and he's paying the price.
You mentioned Hulk Hogan. I got to ask you, he's had a rough year.
Yeah, it's been a rough time, right?
Yeah. I mean, I sat here and talked to him right when the big scandal happened a year and a half ago. And then maybe a month ago, you know, I reached out to him after the whole audio tape comes out.
Right.
When you heard that, what was your reaction?
Well, you reached out to him.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, what did you think?
I was surprised.
Yeah. It's the word. I think that word is such a ugly word.
Yeah.
I think that once again, I'm nobody to judge.
Were you surprised though?
So yeah, surprised, absolutely, because Hulk's not like that, you know. But we all say things in stupid times and stupid ways. I'm sure you have. I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
Whether it be those type of comments or any type of comment that's not correct, that's not right.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's one of those deals where, you know, as a friend, you got to stick by your friends in good times and bad times. And I don't condone it, and I'm surprised, but a friend is a friend. So
have you reached out? Have you spoken to him?
Yeah. You know, I have, and you know, I do feel bad for him. I feel bad for everyone involved. You know, I feel bad for people of color or of any type of race that are fans of his. You know, you do feel a little bit let down. But I know this: nobody feels more let down than he does.
Yeah.
I think he feels really embarrassed and really bad about it. And you know, like I said, it's one of those things where I would never judge anybody, and I just feel bad all across the board about it.
Oh, so that's what's from one. It's footage from the same footage that produced the sex tapes.
Right. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, good grief. Come on. You know, I mean, but bro, yeah. Like I said, I put this tweet out the other day, right? If you want to judge every human being on every word they have ever said, then look in the mirror and start with yourself. All right? I mean, there is obviously a lot of, hypocrisy here from the critics. You know, you could bring up the "May he who is without sin cast the first stone" argument here, and everybody, 99% of the people that are jumping on the bandwagon, piling on Hulk Hogan right now would fall into that category. Hulk Hogan, he obviously said something he obviously said something was very insensitive, but let's forgive the guy, let's let him make amends and stuff, instead of like, all right, let's just erase Hulk Hogan and ruin his life.
You use such extreme and hateful language, though. That really put it over the top.
But what, he used extreme and hateful language. But what is extreme and hateful language? It's words that we have come up with, which we've deemed extreme and hateful. But really, if they're coming out of your mouth, do they really have the meaning of what they say? Like a Ku Klux Klan member using the N-word, as opposed to, would that have the same strength as a friend of yours using the N-word that is obviously probably not racist, but has used the word before? Would it mean the same coming out of either mouth?
Well, I mean, probably not.
Dude, let's be honest here. Hulk Hogan. So let's take the argument back to what it is. Hulk Hogan is a 62-year-old white male, okay, that probably just has the same basic prejudices that a 62-year-old white male would have.
Right.
No, man. Like I said, my feelings of Hulk Hogan are pretty basic. He was a guy that, in WCW, very loyal, as loyal a friend as you will see, because he took care of his guys, for as far as I can remember, right?
To the detriment of the company, because a lot of time his guys weren't that great.
Maybe, but still,
Right.
Secondly, he was a guy that always used to talk about being a team player, but always had his own locker room. So I've always, to this day, I've always been critical of that. Okay, but thirdly, he wasn't a bad guy. And I'm like, he wasn't like the type of guy that you just looked at him or just talked with him and they were came across as condescending or anything like that. So he wouldn't. There was really nothing wrong with the guy. He's the biggest star. Arguably, he's on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. Well, I mean, not even arguably. He's there, and so it's like from a personal standpoint, people that really, you won't find a lot of people that knew him well that are going to speak badly of him. Scott Steiner may be the only guy that's that's going to really blister him here and stuff. But most everybody that know him is going to really come to his defense in this case because basically, like I said, there's never a hint of racism. That nothing, just was always cool to the black people, the black wrestlers, the black, black rappers, love the guy, and he's always been cool with them and stuff. So it's I just don't see anything, I never saw anything like that from him.
This is Tony, Mr. USA Atlas, and I want to say, when I first started in the wrestling business, I said, Tony, if you have one friend, when you leave this business, consider yourself lucky. Well, I had several friends, and one of my most dear friends was Hulk Hogan. And all of us right now, we living high on the hog, everybody making a lot of money because of the foundation that Hulk Hogan laid for all of us. Hulk is no racist. He's about one of the nicest, greatest people that I or you or American ever known or to meet. Give the guy a break. Give him a chance. He's a good man.
Hulk Hogan has been fired by WWE, and everything to do with him has been expunged from their websites based on some racially tinged comments and just racist words that he used on a sex tape that still isn't out yet 8 years ago. What do you think about Hulk being fired by Vince? You've been fired by Vince before, right?
5 times. Yeah. I think it's an honor. No, but what I don't think is an honor. Mm-hmm. Let me try to do this. I don't get into hurting anybody's feelings. I'm a dad. Okay, I'm a big time dad. My son's my best friend. To hurt anybody's feelings, if you've ever had your feelings hurt really bad, you'd rather have someone punch you than do that. With that said, I am only speaking of myself. Sure. Now, when I wore a kilt since I've been 5 years old. I came 5th in the world playing the bagpipes. Well, when I would go into Madison Square Garden, I wasn't the most popular guy. Madison Square Garden is just good radio and great radios and stuff. Because no, you're not catching me, because they pick it up from L.A. RI9 5171, Richmond, and that's how they got it. So that's how I knew they knew that I was there. And when I came in to play the bagpipes, they saw the kilt. To them, looks like a dress, right?
Sure.
Just talking to me. And I'm going, excuse me, sir, do you have a ticket? You just go right ahead.
So this is what you were dealing with in Madison Square Garden, is what you're saying back in the day.
Yeah. Then let's move on, if I may, really quickly.
Sure.
Move on to Hawaii. Hawaii, there's a name for me. It's called Howley. So I put on the back of my T-shirt, the Great Howley. And everyone, Howley! Okay. It just didn't bother me. I went into I went into a Mexican restaurant with my youngest daughter, who's in college now. And they had the Gringo Burger. Now, the Gringo Burger didn't bother me, but she got upset over it.
So, but your point is what here with Hulk
That's
Hogan?
a good question. No, my point is this. Boy, you guys are sensitive. Hang on. I know people got to get up, walk 5 miles for water first thing in the morning.
No, I'm okay.
And I'm just saying, this literally happened to me. You know, my whole life. With Hulkster, I don't agree with all his choices, but you know what? I don't hear people saying all the great things he's done. When he was on the Wheatie box, all those kids that said their prayers and took their vitamins, however you want, I don't hear him saying that. They want to nail this. And a time with Hogan where, I hope, please God, take this right, where he had a little boy in jail and a little lady trying to make it in show business, trying to being called Brooke Hogan. His real name is not Brooke Hogan. My son, Colt, his real name is Colt Toombs. I just think that I think everybody needs to get a life. I don't think that anybody should just go to hurt your feelings for no reason. No, and I also stand on the board of standforthesilent.org.
Right.
Little boy, 11 years old, kills himself for being bullied. I'm on that board. I have a PSA right now. I hate him.